This stream is sponsored by Genshin Impact. Step into the magical world of Teyvat, where the 7 elements make up everything. Embark on a journey across the 7 nations in search of your missing sibling, uncovering ancient mysteries along the way. Collect characters and take on powerful enemies, immerse yourself in Teyvat's rich lore, or just enjoy the beautiful scenery. This world is full of endless possibilities. And if you get stuck, you can always get help from your fellow travelers. The next region may be on the horizon already, but don't worry, there's still plenty of time to catch up to the newest main story chapter, a tale of intrigue in the nation of Hydro, Fontaine. And even if you'd rather take the story slow, you can always explore Fontaine's oceans whenever you want. Currently, 2 brand new characters are featured: Clarande, a champion duelist from Fontaine, and Sethos, a member of Sumeru's Temple of Silence. They're bringing a new piercing mechanic with them, allowing attacks to go right through enemies to hit enemies behind them. Also available right now is Alhaitham, Sumeru Academia's scribe, whose teleport ability is useful both in and out of combat. Play now and you can get 20 free pulls and a number of free characters, including Lynette, a Fontainian magician. Use !Genshin in the chat or use the link below the stream to download for free today. Hello everybody. How are we doing tonight? It is time to start the 3rd and final route of Fate Stay Night. Yes, it is time for Heaven's Feel. Do note the content warnings at the top of the stream. I did make a post about this as well. Hang on a second. Okay, yeah. Let's move this over to accommodate for the sponsored thing up there. I should have done this before I started stream, but oh well. Oh my god, would you go where I'm trying to get you to go? No, that's not lined up with the box. Oh, come on. OBS, please. Okay, well, I think that's about as good as we're gonna get it. Anyways, so yes, do mind those content warnings up there. Let's move them here, I guess. Anyways, so beginning a new route, that means we're going to be going through the first few days again, but there are going to be quite a few new things. Heaven's Feel is very different from the first 2 routes. It's very different tonally, and very different in terms of what content it actually covers. What else? So yeah, I would like to try to at least get through the first 3 days, which is like the quote-unquote common route here before we officially get into Heaven's Feel, and maybe get through day 4? We'll see. Because like I said, there's going to be a lot of brand new scenes in the first 3 days. Also, if you're new here, this is your first time joining in one of our Fate streams, we are doing Fate Stay Night Real Tenua, as you can see here. I mean, it says right here. We have H scenes off, but uncensoring on. This is not my first time playing through Heaven's Feel, or Fate Stay Night in general, as you can see by the title. This is actually like my 3rd time going through the visual novel. But I do ask that you try to keep the chat spoiler-free for the benefit of anybody watching who maybe isn't so familiar with it. Also, because we're in Heaven's Feel, I'm gonna say if you make any worm jokes in chat, I'm banning you. If you make any gross Sakura worm jokes, banned. Out of here. Okay. Oh, also, if you send me a $5 super chat on YouTube, you can force me to do whatever the next bad end is. And I am using a flowchart. So, disclaimers and explanations and stuff out of the way. Let's go ahead and get into it. I can't load, I have to start again. That's right. I have to go and help Sakura. I'd feel bad, both for letting my junior do all the work, and for Sakura coming here so early in the morning. But I'm too late. It seems breakfast has already been made. I can smell the elegant scent of breakfast befitting Sakura. Sakura has finished cooking and is opening the cupboards. I can see that all she has left to do is set the table.
めんぼくない。せめて食器の用意ぐらいはやるから、さくらは座っててくれ。
もう来ちゃったんですか、先輩。
もうじゃないぞ。6時10分って言ったら朝飯を食ってる時間じゃないか。完全に寝坊だよ。
そんなことはないと思いますよ。先輩は部活をしていないんですから、この時間は十分に早起きです。
部活は関係ない。それを言ったら朝練があるさくらがうちに来てくれるのも問題じゃないか。
いえ、私は好きでしていることですから、部活のことは気にしないでください。
ああ、それは何度も聞いた。だから俺も部活に関係なく早起きしてるんだ。さくらが来てくれるならその時間には起きてないと失礼だろ。
For me, waking up early is waking up before Sakura gets here, and sleeping in is making Sakura prepare breakfast on her own, like today. Though, this has only been a habit for a year and a half or so.
ともかく、さくらは休んでろよ。あとは並べるだけなんだから、それぐらい俺にやらせてくれ。
I stand next to Sakura and take out the dishes. Sakura is stubborn at times, and in situations like this, she won't rest unless she's forced to.
なら、私もお手伝いします。お皿には私が盛りますから、先輩はお茶碗を出してください。
いや、だから全部こっちでやるからいいってば。
いけません。先輩はお家の主人なんですから、朝くらいはドーンと構えていてください。
ドーンと構えろって。さくら一人に働かせてのんびりしている主人なんて家主失格だぞ。いいからさくらは今に行ってろって。
はい、ぜひ失格してください。これいつも美味しいご飯を食べさせてもらっているお返しなんです。だからできれば先輩にはゆっくりしていてほしいです。
食費だったら折半なんだからさくらが気にすることじゃない。感謝なんて言ったら俺がしたいぐらいだ。さくらが来てくれるようになってから飯が豪勢になったからな。
やっぱり先輩分かってなかったんですね。先輩のお家のご飯が美味しいのはそういうことじゃないんです。
そういうことじゃないってどういうことだ？
いえ、何でもありません。けど責任取ってくださいね。私、先輩の家じゃないとご飯を美味しくいただけなくなっちゃったんですから。
バカ、おかしなこと言うな。藤姉に聞かれたらどうするんだ。あの人には冗談なんて通じないんだから。
そうですね。藤村先生に聞かれたら大変です。
まったくだ。あんまりおかしなこと言うな。
はい、言いません。言いませんからお手伝いしていいですよね、先輩。
Sakura looks up at me, naturally and calmly.
いいよ、好きにしろ。そんなにやりたきゃさくらに任せる。
好きにします、私。
まったく、本当に最近言うこと聞かなくなったよな、さくら。
ですね。藤村先生に似てきたのかもしれません。
Speaking softly, Sakura reaches up for the cupboard. Her silky hair and smooth skin catch my eye. How can I put this? It's troubling. She must be maturing, as she seems really feminine these days. Her casual movements and her figure are so beautiful that I instinctively look away.
先輩、どうかしましたか？
いや、どうもしてない。どうもしてないから気にしないでくれ。
Shiro, you are so pathetic. Honestly, why am I feeling tense around my friend's sister? After all, Sakura's not like that. She's a good underclassman and a junior I need to take care of. First of all, the relationship between me and Mato Sakura is just that of a senpai and a junior. I don't know about that, dude. How many people have their underclassmen coming to their house to make food every day? She's the sister of a close friend of mine, but since she's a grade below me, we weren't that close. It all changed a year and a half ago into this cooperative kind of relationship. Sakura came to cook when I was injured, and after that, I think we just ended up like this. I think we intended to do it until my injury healed, but some trivial thing came up to make her stay with it. Anyways, Sakura is a good cook and perfect at cleaning and doing the laundry. It's a big help to have her helping around here in the mornings, but it's been a bit troubling recently. Hello! Hi! What's the matter? Cat just came in here whining at me. She hasn't been feeling well today. So I don't know if that's why she's whining at me. Missy. Come here. And now she's ignoring me. The problem is not in Sakura, but me. Frankly, Sakura is beautiful. She's one of the best-looking first years, and I'm sure there are lots of guys who want to date her. And on top of that, she's been growing in certain places recently, and some of her casual gestures have started to catch my eye. That's what I mean by a small problem. Maybe I'm just feeling guilty about being attracted to my friend's sister. Usually I'm fine, but when I'm caught off guard like just now, I blush. Does this make me an unsuitable senpai? Skip. Is this a choice that matters? We're still on day 1. No, it doesn't really matter. Wait, hang on. Do Rin points affect Heaven's Feel at all? I don't think they do. No, I don't think they do. I think we've seen both of these scenes, but I'm not sure. I'll say we'll go to work. Okay, yes, we have seen that. I haven't thanked Sakura for dinner yet, so I'll go and talk to her.
そうだな。夜も遅いし、家まで送って行ってやらないと。
Sakura's in the living room getting ready to go home, having finished the cleaning.
あれ、先輩、お風呂に入ってたんじゃないんですか？
いや、風呂は後回し。さくらを送ってから入る。
私をですか？
あ、最近物騒だから家まで送る。さくらんち結構遠いだろ。わざわざ来てもらってるんだから、それぐらいはさせてくれ。
Sakura falls into an awkward silence. Did I say something bad?
ごめんなさい。気持ちは嬉しいんですけど、先輩を休んでいてください。家までだったら慣れてますし、一人でも大丈夫ですから。
いや、それはそうだろうけど、今日は特別だ。しばらくは家まで送っていくよ。
でも兄さんに見つかると先輩にまで迷惑がかかります。
That's right. Sakura's brother, Shinji, doesn't approve of Sakura coming to my place. He can't object too strongly because she says she's going to Fujine's house, but it could be a problem if I take her home. It's a problem, but so what? I don't care what Shinji says. It's a much bigger problem if Sakura has to walk home alone at dangerous times like these.
俺にかかる迷惑なんていい。ともかく最近は物騒なんだから送ってく。
It's not trouble for you, Shiro. でもやっぱり先輩に悪いですから、
悪くない。日頃世話になってるんだから送るぐらいさせてくれ。それとも一人で帰りたいのか、さくらは。
いえ、そういうことではなくてですね。
ならいいだろう。これでも腕には自信があるんだ。大抵の防寒は返り討ちにできるから、こんな時ぐらいは使ってやってくれ。なんか出てきてもちゃんとさくらを守るから。
I nudge Sakura towards the hallway with a glance.
先輩、本当にいいんですか？また兄さんと喧嘩しちゃうかもしれませんよ。
構わないよ。男同士で喧嘩しない方が変だし、シンジとはそれぐらい素直に言い合った方がいいんだ。あいつああ見えて隠し事とか嫌いだから、文句があるならすっぱりと言い合った方がすっきりする。
Sakura looks surprised for some reason.
どうした？なんか変なこと言ったか？
いえ、言ってませんよ。先輩が兄さんと仲良くしてくれるのが嬉しいだけです。
いや、仲良くってのは難しいぞ。すっきりするのは俺だけで、シンジは逆かもしれないし。
そうですね。けど兄さん、何度喧嘩しても先輩に話しかけるでしょ。兄さん、きっと先輩が苦手なんです。けど他の人よりずっと好きだから、いつも先輩を気にしてるんですよ。
それは返答に困る意見だな。
はい、先輩が羨ましかったから少しだけ困らせてみました。
Sakura smiles. Seeing that smile, I hold my breath without realizing it. Would you call that a big smile? I think it's the first time I've seen her smile like that.
とにかく送っていくからな。シンジに見つかったら見つかったでいい。妹を送り届けたんだから、あいつだって文句は言わないだろ
う。そうですね。隠すよりはそうした方がいいかもしれません。それじゃあお言葉に甘えていいですか、先輩。
はいよ。たまには先輩らしいとこを見せてやれ。
I smack my chest. Sakura smiles warmly at my gesture of trust me. We go down the hill and reach the intersection. There's no one around, and the familiar residential district feels desolate. It's not even 10 o'clock yet, but the town is asleep. The silence is strange. Even though there have been nasty incidents, should night really steal this much life?
先輩、私の家こっちですけど。
悪い。ちょっとぼーっとしてた。 さくらの家はあっち側の一番上だもんな。
いえ、一番上にあるのは遠坂先輩のお家ですよ。マトウの家も高いところにありますけど、一番上じゃないんです。
あれ、そうだったか。遠坂ってあの遠坂？
はい、2年生の遠坂凛さんです。先輩、苦手なんですか？
She must have read my reaction, as her comment is accurate. Ugh, was I making that kind of a face?
いや、苦手ってわけじゃない。話したこともないし、よく知らない相手だ。ただ、有名な優等生だろあいつ。どこにいても目立つから人並みに知ってるだけ。そういうさくらは同じ洋館だし、もしかして近所付き合いとかあるのか？
ないですよ。確かに近所ではありますけど、遠坂先輩のお家は坂の上ですから。けど遠坂先輩のお家が洋館だって知ってるんですね、先輩。
Aren't all the houses in that part of the neighborhood Western style? Sakura asks quietly.
ああ、ちょっと小耳に挟んだんだ。遠坂のところは幽霊屋敷だとかなんとか。幽霊屋敷って言ったら洋館と相場が決まってるだろ。
そうですね。遠坂先輩は一人が好きみたいですから。私も子供の頃、坂の上には怖い魔法使いが住んでるって言われてました。
へえ、怖い魔法使いか。俺もそんな風な噂は聞いたな。まあ、それ言ったらあっちの家はみんな魔法使いが住んでいそうだけど。で、さくらは信じたのか、その話。
信じました。だって子供だったんです。だから坂の上には行っちゃいけないっていつも思ってました。
Sakura answers my joking question seriously. We go up the hill. It's a residential district rather opposite to mine, but the habits are the same. There are fewer and fewer buildings and more trees as you ascend the hill. It's only natural, as most of the town's facilities are at the bottom of the hill. In all that, one of the few buildings near the top of the hill is Sakura's house. Sakura stops suddenly.
なんだ、忘れ物か？
いえ、忘れ物じゃないんですけど、先輩、うちの近くに誰かいませんか？
She looks around uneasily. I look around too, but there's no one here except us.
別に誰もいないけど、なんかあったのか？
いえ、いないならいいんです。なんか最近家の近くで見慣れない人をよく
A
見かける
certain
から、
blonde man,
今日はいるの
perhaps?
かなって。
なんだそれ。なんか危なくないか、そいつ。どんなやつなんだよ。
Uh-huh.
金髪のかっこいい人でした。モデルさんみたいだから先輩も見たらびっくりすると思います。
Gilgamesh is canonically hot. Sakura says so with a blush, as if recalling him. Sakura, I don't know if that's something I should be worried about.
なんだ、不審なやつってわけじゃないんだ。
わかりません。ただ最近は引っ越してきた人なんていないからおかしいなって。
まあ、とにかく怪しいって言えば怪しいよな。よし、もしまた家のあたりをうろついてるようだったら俺が信じに行ってくれ。捕まえて何してるのか白状させるから。
はい、頼りにしてます。けど手荒なことはしないでくださいね。私先輩に喧嘩されると困ります。
Sakura says so while smiling straight at me.
大丈夫だよ。ちゃんと話し合いから始めるから。さくらが心配することない。
I look away from Sakura's smile as I answer. Jeez. Sakura's gestures captivate me often these days. It would have been nothing a while ago, so I feel like I'm acting weird. Maybe it's because Sakura has grown, or maybe just because I finally noticed it. Well, I do think Sakura has become really beautiful. That on its own is great, but I don't think it's cool for a senpai to have to be careful where he's looking.
それじゃあおやすみなさい先輩。送ってもらえて嬉しかったです。
バカ、礼なんて言うな。晩飯作ってもらってるんだから、お礼を言うのはこっちの方だ。
Sakura just smiles with satisfaction.
たく、こんなんでいいんなら明日から日課にするからな。はい。
先輩の気が向いた時、たまにでいいですから送ってください。兄さんに怒られるけど、私はやっぱり先輩と一緒がいいです。先輩、また明日ですね。今日はありがとうございました。
Sakura calls back enthusiastically and disappears into her house.
さて。
I should head home too. I left Fujine at the house, and to be honest, that's what worries me.
あれ?
Did I just hear something? I can hear it. The sound of a creaking swing. It takes me a while to realize it's the sound of some bug.
どんな虫かな? 何せよ、季節外れもいいところだ。
I imagine a longhorn beetle in the dark under the cold winter sky. Then I notice.
あれ? 明かりが3つある。
The one that just lit up is Sakura's room. The light on the first floor is Shinji's room, so what's the light from the third room?
シンジんとこはさくらとシンジしかいないはずだけど。
Maybe it's a guest, or Shinji's in that room. Anyway, I've been here many times, but this is the first time I've seen the light on in that room. Well, it's a big house. It's not strange for a light to be on somewhere in such a house. It's not strange, but...
なんだろう。なんか胸がざわつくな。
I feel something, like a presence or a bad feeling. In the cold air, the unseasonal sound echoes. If there's such a thing as a hunch, the bug hidden in the bushes feels very ominous. Indeed. I would say that bug is quite ominous. My awakening is dark. Perhaps I just don't dream much, but unless something really special happens, I always seem to have the same dream. What I imagine are swords. I don't know why it is, but this is the only thing that comes into my mind. There's no meaning or reason to it. It may just be one of the aspects making up Emiya Shiro. There are no dreams to dream. The only things I recall from sleep are things I was taught a long time ago. For example, about magi. Even if I'm an amateur, if I'm a magus, it's only natural for me to understand the kind of world I live in. Frankly speaking, a magus is an exception who deviates from modern society. But even exceptions must band together to survive. Father told me that the group of magi is called the Magic Association. He also said that I shouldn't associate with them, and he was right. They suck. The Magic Association hides magic and organizes magi. They basically keep watch to see that magi do not affect society with magic, but the strange part is that they do not prohibit misuse of magic. According to Kiritsugu, the Magic Association is only interested in the concealment of magic. Even if a Magus carries out his research at the expense of the lives of many ordinary people, the Magic Association will not punish him. Their priority is that magic should not become public, so they do not ban magic. So they're crazy people who think you can do anything as long as you don't get caught. Anyway, the surveillance of the Magic Association is thorough. Most magical research would cost the lives of ordinary people, and as a result, the existence of magic would become public. So the association does not allow research that would harm society. So Magi stay at home and research quietly, while the normal world carries on unmolested. Hence, Magi only try to hide themselves to escape the association. So perhaps I just don't know it, and a Magus lives in this town. I hear Fuyuki City is a spiritually excellent area. Such an area always has a distinguished Magus with a history. They are called the Second Owner, an elite, and the association entrusts the area to them. Magi who would live in the area must visit them and obtain their permission to construct a workshop. Looking at it like that, we're thieves living here without the permission of the landlord. Father was an outlaw who cut his ties with the association and moved here without the consent of the administrator of Fuyuki. The owner doesn't know that Emiya Kiritsugu was a Magus, and Kiritsugu didn't know who the owner was. With reasoning like that, I think our position is ambiguous. Father, the real Magus, has passed away, and I, his son and pupil, don't know the Magic Association and have not the skill to be a Magus. From the association's point of view, they would want to catch an amateur like me doing things, but I've seen no movement yet. No, I've heard that Japan is relatively hidden from the eyes of the association, so I think I've just not been found out. But that doesn't mean I can let my guard down. People say that the eyes of the association are everywhere. On top of that, if you commit a crime with magic, the heretic hunters of the church will come after you. That just means that whatever you use magic for, lack of care will create enemies. I, Emiya Shiro, just have to study independently, taking that into account. I wake up to see the sun shining in through the window. The sun may have just risen, as it's still a bit dark outside. I get up, trying not to be defeated by the morning chill, and quickly fold up my futon. It's 5:30. One of my strengths is waking up at this time, no matter how late I go to sleep. I do sometimes make mistakes and wake up late like yesterday, but I usually wake up early. I could not fathom waking up at 5:30 regularly. That is so early. Since I let Sakura do all the work yesterday, I have to return the favor this morning. I should finish preparing before Sakura arrives. I don't know how Shiro does it. I cook rice and make some miso soup. It was radish and carrot yesterday, so I make onion and potato miso soup today. I also make the usual broth egg and broth boil, and I'm done. I cut and salt the sari and stop just before cooking it. It's almost 6 o'clock. I finished earlier than expected, so I have some extra time. So what should I... I don't get a choice. I believe that is one of the Sakura flags. Yeah? Yeah. No? Yes? Question mark? I opened the refrigerator. I don't know. All that's left are some cucumber and potatoes.
キュウリをスティック状に切って塩漬けにしてもいいし、じゃがいもを千切りにして酢の物にしてもいいんだけど。
Shiro, buddy, I know I have no say in this choice, but I vote for cucumbers. But those are both things I could do in a couple of minutes, and they're better fresh. It'll be half an hour until Fujine and Sakura arrive, so I should make a dish right before they get here. In that case, this is free time I can't make much use of. Is there anything I can do in 30 minutes?
夕飯用に鶏のささみがあったから、
I could cook some bite-sized meat rolls with vegetables or something like that. I cut the meat and tenderize it. At a glance, the meat tenderizer is really evil. It's like a hammer, but it's flat on four sides and has lots of spikes coming out of it. If it were bigger, it would make a great instrument of torture. Oh, the things that go through Shiro's mind when he's unoccupied. I flatten the meat with the scary object, put some carrots and kidney beans on it, roll it up, cook it in the pan, and steam it with wine.
ちょっと待て。何してんだ俺。
At that point, I regained my sanity. I was trying to make a side dish, as the sari was already the main dish. So what am I doing, making another main dish?
なんてこった。暇つぶしで余計な料理をするなんて気が抜けてる。
暇つぶして作ってたんですか先輩。
でも誤解のないように説明すると、本当は惣菜を追加しようとしたんだ。それが気がついたら包丁を持ってた。
でもいいと思いますよ。朝ごはんにしては豪勢ですけど、先輩の料理なら余らないと思います。
そうかな。いや、そういう問題じゃないだろう。これ一つの空に二つの太陽はいらないんだ。どっちかにはご退場を願わなくちゃいけない。
先輩、せっかく作ったのに食べないんですか？
食べる。予定にはなかったけど、今日の昼は弁当にする。
うわ、先輩、今からお弁当作るんですか？
ギリギリかな。まあ、俺一人分ぐらいなら飯もなんとか。
And then, I finally realized someone's behind me. After having a full conversation with her.
今日もお邪魔しますね。
Sakura greets me with a smile. It's not unusual for Sakura to come into the kitchen at this time. She always rings the bell as she comes in, but sometimes I don't notice, like this morning.
おはよう、さくら。朝飯の支度はできてるから、今で休んでていいぞ。お茶の用意してあるから。
I answer her, staring at the frying pan. On the table is a pot of hot water, a teapot, and some snacks.
はい、今朝も完璧ですね、先輩。
Sakura's voice is lively, as if she's happy about something. And Sakura comes into the kitchen instead of going to the table.
先輩、お弁当作るんですよね。
まあ、そういう流れになった。ちょうど弁当向きだし、もう少しおかずを用意しようかなって。
それなら私もいいですか？ちゃんと自分で作りますから。
いや、待った。おかず俺のと同じのでいいなら分けられるけど。
はい、さっきから見ていて先輩の焼き物が食べたいなって思ってたんです。
了解。じゃあさくらはご飯炊いてくれ。2人分の弁当となると飯が足りなくなる。はい、
任されました。それじゃあお手伝いさせていただきますね。
I hear the sound of her footsteps and of her tying her apron.
先輩、ご飯は2合でいいですよね。
十分なんじゃないかな。
With quick movements, Sakura comes to help in the kitchen.
あ、はよー。今朝もいい匂いさせてて結構。
Sakura and Shiro are seriously just peak domesticity. They're so cute. A little past I can't talk. A little past 6:30. 30 minutes after Sakura, Fujine arrives as usual.
おはようございます先生。朝ごはんもうちょっと待ってくださいね。
待つ待つ。で、あれさくらちゃん、シローと一緒に朝ごはん作ってるの？
いえ、朝食の支度は先輩が一人でやっつけちゃってました。今は先輩とお弁当を作ってるんです。
Sakura's voice is really lively. We're not doing anything particularly fun, so I don't know what she's so happy about.
そっかそっか。そりゃ朝からご機嫌にもなるか。お料理とシロー、楽しいことだらけだもんね。よしよし、時間は余裕ないけどゆっくりしてていいわよ。
Laughing, Fujine sits at the table and pours some tea.
たく、朝から寝ぼけやがって。学校前に台所に立つことのどこが楽しいってんだ。
I put the pan back onto the rack. The food's made, so all that's left is to pack the lunch boxes.
悪いな、さくら。部活前だっていうのに無駄な体力使わせて。昨日世話になった分、今朝はゆっくりしてもらおうと思ってたんだが。
そんなことありませんよ。藤村先生の言う通り、台所に立つのは楽しいです。
She smiles. Well, I know she likes cooking, but still, it must be hard for her getting up at 5 o'clock to make lunch. Besides, Sakura comes and makes dinner often. So if I'm getting her to cook in the mornings too, she might have no free time at all.
手伝ってくれるのは助かるけど、もう少し楽にしろよ、さくら。朝はもちっと眠ったり、放課後だって遊びに行くもんだろ。何も好き好んでうちの手伝いをしなくていいんだ。
ですから楽にしています。今日も先輩に朝ごはんを作ってもらいました。お弁当のおかずだって先輩に分けてもらいましたし。
She smiles. It's been a year and a half since Sakura started to help out. Now she keeps coming back like this no matter what I say.
それとこれは別だろう。さくらだって自分の生活があるんだから、俺や藤姉の世話にかまけてたら大変だぞ。俺を甘やかしてると、そのうち自分の好きなことができなくなるんだからな。
それも大丈夫です。私、趣味はお料理と弓だけですから。ちなみに将来の目標は先輩の味を超えることで、もうすぐ射程距離だったりします。
Sakura puffs her chest out boastfully. Gah! I want to argue back, but it's true as she is about to beat me.
ですから気にしないでください。私、ここでお料理するのが嬉しいし、上手くなるのが楽しいんです。この楽しさを教えてくれた恩返しと、自分の実益を兼ねてお手伝いをしているのです。
それはつまり、日々俺の技術を盗んでいるということなのか、さくら。
はい。先輩のお手伝いをするだけで、好きなことがめきめき上達しちゃいます。ですから覚悟しててくださいね。今に先輩に参ったって言ってもらうんですから。
Whoa. I can't believe she said it so bluntly.
まったく、こんなことなら料理なんて教えなければよかった。うちに来るまでサラダ油の存在さえ知らなかったくせに、今じゃ虎視眈々と死の首を狙ってやがる。なんだってそんなに目の敵にすんだよ、ほんと。飯なんて普通に作れればいいじゃんか。
そんなの目の敵にします。先輩の方が美味しいなんてダメなんですから。
I'm not sure what's so bad about that, but we should start setting the table for breakfast.
よっと。
I check the sari. Placing my chopstick on the well-grilled stomach, I check how cooked it is.
上出来かな。ほい、さくら、パス。先に食卓に持って行ってくれ。
はい、お疲れ様です先輩。
I hand the plate of sari to Sakura. Then, as if remembering something important, Sakura stops dead.
さくら、どうした？忘れ物か？
Sakura may seem shrewd, but she actually forgets things a lot. It's not unusual for her to remember something and stop like this. But it seems like that's not the case this morning.
さくら、
There's no answer. She just blankly stares at my hand like she's still in a daze. Then...
先輩、その手の技、何ですか？
she asks me a strange question.
は？
I look down at the hand she's talking about.
あれ、本当だ。手の甲にあざができてる。おかしいな。ぶつけた覚えはないんだけど。
For some reason, there's a big bruise on the back of my left hand. It's quite an impressive welt, and it looks like it came from some sort of a cut. Even on my own hand, it looks bad. Perhaps Sakura's not feeling well, as she's very quiet.
悪い、あとは任せた。湿布かなんか貼ってくる。
I let Sakura take care of the kitchen and head for the dojo. I don't know if I did this during my sleep, but I'll have to treat it. But for some reason, I'm worried about Sakura, who looked awkward and downcast.
それじゃあ、先に行ってますね。
さくら、本当にいいのか？体調が悪いなら部活ぐらい休んでいいんだぞ。
いえ、大丈夫です。ちょっと頭痛がするだけですから、心配には及びません。体調が悪そうに見えるのは、先輩の気のせいですよ。私、すごく元気です。
She says so with a smile, but anyone can tell at a glance that she's just bluffing.
すごく元気か。朝飯、一口も食べられなかったのにか？
She looks away awkwardly. Without looking up, she
失礼
replies,
します。先輩の方こそ、休んでください。
she leaves. The table is cleared, but on the plate in the kitchen, Sakura's meal remains untouched.
まったく、いきなりどうしたんだよ、さくらのやつ。
She had been in such a good mood, but after seeing my bruise, Sakura suddenly became quiet and started to make lots of mistakes. She overfilled the tea, drenched the omelets with soy sauce, and sat down at the table with her apron on. And on top of that, she ate nothing and went to school looking pale.
風邪でもひいたのかな、さくら。
I mutter to myself while cleaning up. It's the first time I've seen Sakura like this. I got to know her during the summer 4 years ago, and she started coming here to help a year and a half ago. In that time, I've never seen her look this ill. Fujine will be at the archery range, so I don't think there will be a problem there, but I should go and check on her after school or sometime. Classes end and it's time to go home. I can't go anywhere as I have work today. I should leave school and go straight to the neighboring town, but I'm worried about Sakura. I know it won't do any good to worry about her, but I should at least see if she's okay. I walk through the 4th floor, where the first-year students are located. There's no one in the hallway, and not many left in the classrooms either. It seems they've already gone home or to their clubs.
失敗したな。これじゃさくらも部活に行ってる。
Well, I've come this far. I'll go to her classroom, and when I've checked she's not there, I can head to work.
どれ？
I look into classroom 1B. The red-tinted classroom is quiet, and there's no sign of life. There's no one in the classroom. All the students have gone to their respective destinations. that red classroom, a lone shadow remains.
さくら
I enter the red world and call out to her.
先輩。
The face, covered by her long hair, looks even more lifeless than this morning.
どうしたんですか？うちのクラスに何か用事でも。
あ、いや、さくらのクラスに用事はない。単にさくらの様子が気になっただけだ。朝から体調悪そうだったから。
Sakura makes a gloomy face. She's clearly not doing well.
さくら、気分が悪いなら帰らないか。交差点までなら遅れるから一緒に帰ろう。
いえ、いいです。私、どこも悪くありません。いつも通り部活に出て、終わったら先輩のところで夕飯をごちそうになるんです。悪くなんてないんです。だから、気にしないでください。
She picks up her bag and starts to walk like she's running away.
バカ、そんな顔で何言ってんだ。いいから部活は休め。だいたいな、そんなんで弓を引いても帰ってくるもんなんかないだろう。
I grab Sakura's hand as she tries to pass me. A crash. Sakura almost falls over just from being grabbed. I quickly pull her hand back. The body I'm dragging is surprisingly light.
びっくりした。さくら、本当に大丈夫か？足全然踏ん張り効いてないじゃないか。
Sakura looks away apologetically. Jeez, what's wrong with her today?
とにかく部活は休みだ。俺もバイト休むから今日はおとなしく家に帰ろう。
Sakura is silent and does not answer. She doesn't shake my hand off, but it also seems she won't go home obediently.
どうしたんだよさくら。そんなんじゃ部活に出ても意味ないって分かってるだろ。
それは、先輩の言う通りです。けど、兄さんが呼んでるから。
Sakura mutters. If she says so with a face like that, I can't respond. It seems the circumstances at Sakura's house are complicated, and they're not something I can meddle with. No matter how much I think she's part of my family, her real family is the Matos. Whatever I say, they're just the words of an outsider.
部活には顔を出すだけか、さくら。
私だって今は弓を引けないって分かってます。
そうか。要するにシンジの顔を立てるだけってことだな。
I pull out a chair and sit on it. I also pull another chair out from the desk next to it.
先輩？
いいから座れ。部活に行くのはもう止めない。その代わりもうちょっと休んでいけ。シンジには俺から誘われて断るのに時間がかかったって言えばいい。
そんなこと言えません。そんなこと言ったら兄さんまた先輩に。
シンジがちょっかい出してくるのはいつものことだよ。いいじゃんか。毎日会話のネタがあってあいつも楽だろ。それにこの話は嘘でも何でもない真っ白な真実なんだから後ろめたいこともない。
I urge Sakura to sit down. Can I please talk? Sakura sits down quietly.
よしよし。じゃあちょっと待っててくれ。生徒会室からお茶くすねてくるからな。俺が戻ってくるまで席を立つのは禁止だぞ。
先輩、お茶をくすねてくるってそんなことしたら怒られるんじゃ。
先生に見つかったらな。何？この手のことには慣れてる。廊下でばったり会わない限り問題ないから。さくらは椅子でふんぞり返っててくれ。
できません。 先輩が危ないことしてる時に休んでるなんてもってのほかです。先輩、
What's the worst that would
私
happen?
お茶なんていいですから。
だから危なくないって。いいから座ってろよ。教室で茶を飲むってのも一度ぐらいはいいもんだ。
I jump out into the hallway. The student council room isn't far away. I'll get the tea set quickly and surprise Sakura. Time passes. While we do something silly like drinking tea together in a classroom, we just stare outside. Outside the window is a glowing sunset that hurts my eyes. Sakura stares blankly at the sunset. I have nothing to talk about, so I follow Sakura's example and keep my mouth shut. Time passes slowly since we're not talking. Sakura isn't the talkative type, and she often just stares at the scenery. I guess she's more relaxed by herself. Come to think of it, Sakura wants to be alone a lot. It's not like she's excluding herself from the crowd, but she wants to isolate herself within the crowd. She looks outside the crowd more than in it. That must be why she stayed here in the classroom. Sakura doesn't actively try to spend time with others. Fujine and I are special. Even I wouldn't have known her if I hadn't met Shinji. I sneak a glance at Sakura. When Shinji introduced me to her 4 years ago, she was just a small girl. Now she's my junior who comes to help around the house, and her childish image is disappearing. Sakura has grown beautiful. No, she was beautiful before, but I think she's become too beautiful as a member of the opposite sex. On top of that, she's thoughtful and gentle. With that many good qualities, I can understand her being called beautiful alongside Tosuka Rin. But it's strange. I don't understand it. Sakura is alone, often. She doesn't seem to have any friends in the archery club, and seeing how she's alone in this classroom, she might not have any friends in her class either. Come to think of it, I only know Sakura from the archery club and from my place. I don't know how she is at school or at home. While I think about this, looking up at the red sky,
先輩、覚えてますか？
looking outside, Sakura asks me a question.
覚えてるかって何を？
ずっと昔の話です。私がまだ先輩を知らなかった頃の話。
つまりさくらと知り合う前の話か？
はい、4年前、私が進学したばかりの頃です。まだ新しい学校に慣れてなくて、あてもなく廊下を歩いているとき、私、あれは一体どういう経緯だったんでしょうね。もう放課後でグラウンドには陸上部の人もいないっていうのに、誰かが一人だけで走ってたんです。何をしてるのかなって見てみると、その人一人で走り高跳びをしてました。
A smile. It must be a lovely memory, as Sakura is smiling happily.
真っ赤な夕焼けだったんです。校庭も廊下もみんな真っ赤で、そんな中でですね、一人でずっと走ってるんです。走って飛んで棒を落としてまた繰り返して、周りには誰もいなくて、その高さを越えられないって分かってるのに、頑張ればなんとかなるって問題じゃないんですよ。
accidentally skipping, my
だって
bad.
その棒、その人の身長よりずっと高かったんです。私から見ても無理だってわかるんだから、 その人だってとっくに飛べないって分かってたと思うんです。
I understand, but I wonder what she's talking about. I don't think it's strange to see someone practicing even after school.
私、その時良くない子だったんです。嫌なことがあって誰かに八つ当たりしたかった。失敗しちゃえ、諦めけどなかなか諦めてくれないんですよ、その人。何度も何度も見ているこっちが怖くなるぐらいできっこないことを繰り返して全然泣き言を言わなかったんです。
はあ、そりゃよっぽど切羽詰まってたんじゃないのか。明日がレギュラー選定でその高さを飛べないと選ばれないとか。
いいえ、それは違います。だってその人陸上部でも何でもない人でしたから。
Oh, I see. Well, that's fine. But why are you smiling, Sakura?
それでですね、私見ているうちに気がついたんです。その人別に何でもいいんだなって。今日たまたま自分のできないことにぶつかってなら負けないぞって意地を張ってただけなんです。そうして日が落ちてその人は一人で片付けをして帰っちゃいました。すごく疲れてるのに何でもなかったみたいに平然とどっか行っちゃったんです。
わかんないやつだな。けどやめたってことは飛べたんだろそいつ。それ何メートルぐらいの高さだったんだ。
これがですね、結局飛べなかったんです。その人3時間もずーっと走ってどうやっても自分じゃ飛べないって納得しただけなんです。
うわ、落ちてないなその話。
はい、あんまりにもまっすぐすぎてその人の心配をしちゃったぐらいです。その人はきっとすごく頼りがいのある人なんです。けどそこが不安で寂しかった。
Her voice itself sounds so lonely, it seems like it will be swallowed by the red in this room. It is so interesting. It says a lot about all three of them. How this one incident left such a deep impression on both Rin and Sakura, and Shiro just does not remember it at all.
はあ、話は分かったけどそれが何だってんだよさくら。
いえ、わからないのならいいんです。私にはそう見えただけでその人自身にとっては日常茶飯事だったということで。
Exactly. Despite her gloomy mood earlier, Sakura smiles sweetly. And then, even though I'm pretty dull, I understand when she puts it like that. I don't remember it myself, but 4 years ago was right after my father died. Back then, I did lots of reckless things, so I guess I did something like that.
ああ、さくら、つまりそれは。
はい、今私の前にいる上級生さんでした。あの頃は小柄だったから同じ学年かなって勘違いしちゃったんです。
Ugh. I wish she wouldn't talk about my height back then. Well, I'm not that tall even now, but I did grow, you know?
そういうことです。私その時から先輩のことは知ってたんですよ。
そっか、それは初耳。
I look away. She saw me during an embarrassing moment. Then,
私たち同じものを見てたんです。
with a gesture like a prayer, Sakura says something strange.
え？
I ask, feeling worried. But as if to drown it out, the familiar bell echoes through the school.
鐘鳴っちまったな。
It's been 30 minutes since I stopped Sakura. The clock says 4:30.
さすがにこれ以上の遅刻はやばいよな。片付けはやっとくから、さくらは先に行っていいぞ。体、少しは良くなっただろ？
はい、おかげさまで元気いっぱいです。今日の夕飯は楽しみにしててください。
Sakura gets up. It doesn't seem like she's bluffing, as she really seems well.
だって悪いさくら、俺これからバイトだ。今日は遅くなるから無理してうちに来なくていい。
はい、わかりました。ならお夕飯だけ作って置いていきますね。
Sakura bows and leaves.
ま、いっか。
Fushine will be at my house, so she should be able to take Sakura home when she leaves. I have to make a living too, so I should get to work quickly. "20 minutes after taking the bus from my school, I arrive at the neighboring town of Shinto across from the bridge.
なんだ、まだ5時前か。少し時間があるな。
Miyama City is a residential district, so there's no part-time jobs there, but the developing Shinto has many available. The school approves of students having part-time jobs, so I work a few easy ones. I prefer hard physical labor that ends as quickly as possible. It's killing two birds with one stone, as it builds my body while I get paid for it. Today's job is a simple loading job from 5 to 8 o'clock. Even though it's only 3 hours, there's 6 hours worth of work to do. They make you run around without a minute's rest. So I should rest when I can, even if it's just for 10 minutes. It's a waste of energy walking around until my job, so I guess I'll rest in the park. Why is my stream having problems? Okay, there we go. This park among the buildings is like a big field. A park should be filled with people like families and lovers on weekends, but it's empty here now. No, this place is always desolate.
相変わらずだな、ここは。
I'm a bit sad. The utterly neglected ground looks awful compared to the neatly organized surroundings. The desolate area makes the wind feel cold. This is the remains of the conflagration 10 years ago, and this is the place where I was saved from burning to death.
なんで芝生とか植えないんだろう。いつまでもこのままってのはもったいない。
It's a large area, so if they retiled it, the park would get bigger. Thinking absent-mindedly, I sit down on a bench. I stare at the burned land to pass the time. I don't remember what happened here back then. I probably don't remember because I was a kid, and it wouldn't have been an easy scene to memorize. All I can remember is that it was hot and I couldn't breathe. And that people died trying to save others.
どうしてそうなのかな。
For example, an adult that tried to save a child from a burning house. He saved the child, but died in its place. For example, there were people who had their throats burned, but they gave what little water they had to one guy and the others died. For example, there was someone who ran alone to get away from the fire as fast as possible, and everyone that he passed on the way died. And for example, people who died because they gave away something that was saving them, only to save others they didn't even know. I didn't like things like that. It makes me mad that those who tried hard were sacrificed. Am I greedy to want an ending where everybody is safe and happy? All I wanted was to see people relax peacefully, so why couldn't I manage such a simple thing?
それは難しい。シロの言っていることは誰も彼も救うということだからね。
Kiritsugu answered so to the question I asked as a child. Of course, as a child, I denied it. Because Kiritsugu saved me. I knew he was a sorcerer who could do anything. I knew he was a superhero who couldn't ignore people in need, who saved them for no benefit. So I believed Kiritsugu could have saved everyone back then. When I told him that, he made a troubled expression and said something that I remember to this day.
シロ、誰かを救うということは誰かを助けないということなんだ。いいかい？正義の味方に助けられるのはね、正義の味方が助けた者だけなんだよ。当たり。
Oops. I understand that. It's obvious now that he's said it. Let's say there's a robber and some hostages, and the robber intends to kill the hostages. With normal methods, most of the hostages will be killed. Even if you use a miraculous method to save all the hostages, there will still be one person who isn't saved. That, of course, is the robber whose hostages were rescued. The people a superhero saves are only those he decides to save. That's why even God cannot save everyone.
それが天才ならなおさらだ。誰であろうと全てを助けるなんてできなかった。
The fire 10 years ago was like that. It's not something I, who was miraculously saved from it, can talk about now.
けど嫌だ。
I don't want such a thing. I don't want help that has a limited capacity. You have to help, no matter how impossible it is. I can't stand to have strangers dying around me like back then. So if I had been there 10 years ago, even if it was impossible, I would have gone into the fire and...
そのまま無駄死にしてたろうな。間違いなく。
That's for certain. Jeez, I'm hopeless.
しまった。ぼんやりしてたら5時になっちまった。
The 5 o'clock bell rings. I stand up and quickly make my way to my work. When my job's done, the sun has already set. It's a bit before 8. I finished 10 minutes early because I worked too hard. It seems I worked frantically since I went to that place before work. Here in front of the station, the night's just getting started. There are lots of people and a constant flow of cars on the road. The buildings are still lit up, and just looking at them makes me feel like I'm watching a grand festival of illumination.
藤根にお土産はいいか。
I walk while looking up at the lighted building. It's the biggest building in Shinto, so I can't see the top clearly. I just gaze up at the building, just enjoying the night's scenery, when I think I see something out of place.
なんだ今の。
I stop and stare at the rooftop. I focus my eyes, looking at the thing as small as a grain of rice. It's Rin. It looks like someone I know. Why is she there? What would she be doing there? With her long hair fluttering and doing nothing, she looks down at the town. It doesn't seem like she notices me down here. No, there's no way she could see me. She's so high up that I, with better eyesight than most, can barely see her by improving my vision with magical energy. I can recognize her since she's standing there alone, but there's no way she would notice me down here among all these people. She's just looking down at the town. Maybe she's looking for something, as I can feel her sharp stare even down here. I forget about time and keep looking up at the girl standing in the sky. She's on top of a tall tower. She's like a witch, looking down at the earth with the moon behind her. Hello! And then, she must be done with whatever she was doing, as she disappears. Hi, do you want up here? Don't walk all over my keyboard, please. Hi. my goodness. Her figure has disappeared and the scene returns to the beautiful view of the night.
今の遠坂だったのかな。
I have no proof, but I think I'm right. There aren't many girls with looks that stand out that much, and more than that, I'm not stupid enough to mistake a girl I secretly admire.
そうか。にしても
Well, it's... Tosaka sure has strange hobbies. Oh, you don't know the half of it, Shiro. I returned to Miyama City. Unlike Shinto, it's really quiet here, as if it were midnight already.
さくら、大丈夫かな。
She seemed to be feeling better, but since she came to my place to make dinner, I think I've made her push herself again.
ちょっと様子見てくるか。
It's not like I'll achieve anything by going to her house now, but it should make me feel better than doing nothing. There's nothing wrong at her house. There's no sign of the strange foreigner Sakura was talking about, and the lights are only on in Sakura and Shinji's rooms as usual. Wait a minute. Then what was that light yesterday? Was there someone other than Sakura and Shinji in the house?
もし何かこの家に用があるのかね。
I spin around. In the darkness of the night, as if hiding in the sound of the bugs, a figure is standing. He's an unfamiliar old man. He must be really old, but he has sharp eyes and a presence that doesn't match his small body. Perhaps it is the difference in the years we have lived, but he has a dignity that pressures me.
どうした若いの。なぜ答えん。答えねばこちらで決めつけてしまうぞ。ではさくらが言っておった不審なよそ者がお前さんだ。と。
Sakura? Then could this person be...
参ったの。孫の頼みだ。見過ごしておくわけにもいくまい。見ず知らずのお前さんには申し訳ないが、少し痛い目にあってもらわねばならん。念のため聞いておくが、潔く香木の厄介になる気はないか。
The unknown old man asks me such a question. There's no mistake. This is the first time I've met him, but he must be...
あ、いや違います。俺はシンジの同級生で、さくらとは知り合いで、散歩がてらに様子を見に来たエミヤシロウというものです。
ああ、そうか。シンジとさくらの知り合いか。それは邪魔をしたな。どれ、二人を呼んでこよう。それとも夕飯を馳走されるかね。
いえ、ちょっと寄っただけですから、すぐ帰ります。それよりおじいさん、さくらはもうちゃんと帰ってきてますか？
造見じゃ。
The old man says an unfamiliar word.
魔頭造見。お前さんが名乗ったというのに、わしが名乗らんままではおかしかろう。
Mato Zoken says so and walks toward the entrance. It seems like he doesn't care about me anymore. Overwhelmed, I see him off without a word. And then...
さくらならば帰ってきておる。それよりエミヤシロ。アインツベルの娘は双剣かね。
は？アインツ、何ですか？
とぼけるでない。アインツベルの娘がエミヤを訪ねるは通り、こたびの座の出来はどうかと問うておる。
I don't understand at all. I'm sorry, Sakura, but your old man is pretty hard to deal with.
どうやら本当に知らんらしいな、これは。
Zoken sighs. He looks so shocked that I feel kind of sorry for him. Don't feel sorry for him,
よ
Shiro.
く
Oops.
いやいや、お主が気に病むことはない。わしの勘違いじゃ。つまらぬことを言ってすまなかった。そら、孫たちに用があるのなら遠慮することはない。年寄りは隠居しておるでな。気兼ねなく尋ねるがよい。
いや今日は本当に寄っただけです。けどおじいさん、この家に住んでいるんですか？
住んでおるとも。もっとも見ての通りの老体でな。日がな一日奥座敷でくたびれておる。
I see. I came to their house until about a year ago, but it seemed then that no one other than Sakura and Shinji lived there.
では失礼するぞ、エミヤシロウ君。うちの孫たちとよくしてやってくれ。
Despite his appearance, he leaves with light footsteps. There is no change in the house, but the sound of the bugs has suddenly stopped. The day ends. Finishing a rowdy dinner and seeing Fujine off, I take a bath. After that, I practice my daily routine in the shed. I complete it as usual and go to sleep. It is 1 in the morning. The day ends peacefully with no troubles. And you're getting up at 5:30? After Fujine leaves, we lock the house and leave.
さくら、なんだよ、元気がないな。もしかしてまた体調が悪くなったのか？
いえ、体の調子はいいです。先輩の方こそ大事はありませんか？今朝もどこか気分が悪そうでしたし、昨日の傷も悪化してるかもしれません。
Yesterday's bruise? Oh, that welt on my left hand.
いや、あざはあれっきりだけどな。ただの腫れだからしばらくすれば治るだろう。
She must be worried about something as she continues to stare at me.
いや、本当に大丈夫だって。大したことないぞ、本当。なんだよ。昨日からおかしいぞ、さくら。こんなのただのあざだろ？それとも何か？俺が寝てる間にさくらが踏んづけてできたあざだとか。
先輩、私そんなに重くありません。私は
ただ
間違いだったらいいって。
I don't understand her. Sakura doesn't talk much, but she tends to say important things clearly. She doesn't usually talk like this.
先輩、お願いがあるんですけど、いいですか？
ん？ああ、できる範囲でなら聞くけど、なんだ？
はい、私、明日の夜までお手伝いに来られないんです。その間、できるだけ家の中にいてもらえませんか？
それ、日曜のバイトは休めってことか？
はい、できる限り家にいてほしいんです。私の用事が終わればお手伝いに来ますから。
まあ、1日ぐらい休んでもいいか。よし、じゃあ休日は家でのんびりしてる。それでいいか、さくら。
はい、そうしてもらえると助かります。
I guess it's fine to relax once in a while. I have some extra living expenses from working a lot recently, so I'll clean up all the junk this weekend. of course, will choose to fight because the other option leads to a bad end. And we will choose to save Saber because the other option leads to a bad end. And we have an interlude. There's a sound. It's hard to determine if the sound is someone crying or something being dragged. The sound is all there is. There are only decaying things here. The stone walls are fragile like rotten trees, and the air is sweet like honey. The living things on the floor are melted like ripe fruit, and even time is rotten and meaningless here. This space is worn out after a long period of time. This darkness is the grave of all that were not mourned for, because of the tenacity of a certain bloodline.
7人揃ったようだな。
In the center of the darkness wiggles the largest decay. The sound of worms and the smell of rotten meat. The master of this basement room is rotten but alive and swarmed by the otherworldly worms. The worms that crawl up his feet suck on the skin at the ankles and use their suckers to consume the meat and burrow into it. There aren't merely 100 or so of these swarming worms. If any living thing were swarmed by this black carpet, they would not even last a minute. A human would have all their meat and bones taken by the worms and would crumble as a boneless skin.
足りぬ。この虫どもも時期替え時か。
But the thing does not crumble. No, the more the worms enter his body through the ankles, the more complete his body becomes. That thing is not being consumed by the worms. The worms swarming the room are the ones being eaten. The amount stored will last 100 years. If this is something that eats only worms, it means that much more life is already guaranteed.
まだ先はある。こたびが最後というわけでもない。万全でなければ静観に徹するべきなのだが。
Well, says the figure with a smile, the place this time is far from perfect. The hole is opening less than 10 years after the last battle. The supervisor, the priest, has 2 servants, and the servant residing at the Ryudo temple has summoned a servant herself. The conditions are not good. The grail that would be filled in such an unstable battle would be far from perfect. Even if the gate is opened, it would not be possible to reach inside it.
ならば静観するべきなのだが、困ったことに持ち駒だけは適しておる。
The condition to fight for the Holy Grail is terrible. But one thing, that thing created after a lot of work, has been completed perfectly. It shall reach it once it is open. It shall definitely reach the Holy Grail if it makes no mistake in the procedure. After all, it has had the content of the Holy Grail planted within it. It is a cellular tool that has been contaminated by the Holy Grail for the past 10 years. So as things with the same origin, it is only natural they will attract each other.
わしには次があるが、あれはそう長く持つまい。対バンとしてもらい受けたものだが、よもやあれほどの出来になろうとはの。
That thing prepared as an experiment is so suitable, you could call it perfect. It was planned to be disposable, but if it can be used, it should be. Either way, it is something that was planned to be disposed of. Even if it is destroyed in battle, it does not change the fact that it will be disposed.
となると問題は一つ。あれをどうやってその気にさせてやるかだが。
The prepared compatible work hates conflict. It would be simple if its mind could be taken over, but the work's mental barrier is stronger than expected. Well, One with a strong magic circuit was what was wished for. So it is only natural for it to be strong against a poison that tries to violate the self. Should it be the obedient doll or the superior pupil? As long as the latter is decided, controlling it is out of the question.
一度でよい。わずかな隙間さえ開けば、あとは自ら聖杯を求めるのであろうが、さ。
Creating that small opening is the hard part. It does not have a mentality that will break down under external pressure. If it did, it would have broken already 11 years ago. That thing is the strongest fortress that has no blade to strike back. Then, what will break it must come from within. Its emotions will become the key to change it.
来たか。さて、では隙間を作ってやるとするか。
Footsteps echo through the darkness. The appearing person walks to the worms in the middle of the decay, and... Do I have to kill every master? And asks the anticipated question. Of course, it does not need to answer such a question. All masters must be killed. We must take away all servants. That is the idea swirling in this basement. But pushing that aside.
お前がそういうのであれば仕方あるまい。では今回も傍観に徹しよう。
The thing says so. A voice of relief and a relaxed air. After giving a kind smile that has no intention of fighting.
しかしそうなると少しばかり尺だの。今回のよりしろの中では、キャツの娘はなかなかによくできておる。勝者が出るとすれば、おそらくはあやつであろう。
It murmurs disappointedly. The slack air returns. A small change. A faint emotion of evil fills the room. The one that disliked conflict was moved by that one word. It is built on that small movement. A small crack. A small opening that should not be opened, which the thing itself does not notice. The rotten meat laughs. Swarmed by worms and still rotting, it continues to laugh, still holding a human shape. And with that, we are officially entering Heaven's Field. I'm probably gonna have to cut this part out of the VOD. Pretty sure I had to do that for Fate and Unlimited Blade Works, so... Skip. And let us save here. And I do believe that's where we're gonna call it for tonight. So, next week, we will be getting into Heaven's Feel proper. Let's see. So yeah, next week, getting into Heaven's Feel for real. Tomorrow, we're going to try to play Grand Blue Fantasy. We'll see how well it works out, because last time I tried to stream the mobile game, it didn't work out very well, which is really weird, considering it's browser-based. You'd think that would be really easy to stream. If it doesn't work, then we'll do Claran's Story Quest then, but if it does work, we'll do Claran's Story Quest on Sunday. So, thank you to everybody who stopped by, and I hope to see you all next time. This stream is sponsored by Genshin Impact. Step into the magical world of Teyvat, where the 7 elements make up everything. Embark on a journey across the 7 nations in search of your missing sibling, uncovering ancient mysteries along the way. Collect characters and take on powerful enemies, immerse yourself in Teyvat's rich lore, or just enjoy the beautiful scenery. This world is full of endless possibilities, and if you get stuck, you can always get help from your fellow travelers. The next region may be on the horizon already, but don't worry, there's still plenty of time to catch up to the newest main story chapter, a tale of intrigue in the nation of Hydro, Fontaine. And even if you'd rather take the story slow, you can always explore Fontaine's oceans whenever you want. Currently, 2 brand new characters are featured: Clarand, a champion duelist from Fontaine, and Sethos, a member of Sumeru's Temple of Silence. They're bringing a new piercing mechanic with them, allowing attacks to go right through enemies to hit enemies behind them. Also available right now is Alhaitham, Sumeru Academia's scribe, whose teleport ability is useful both in and out of combat. Play now and you can get 20 free pulls and a number of free characters, including Lynette, a Fontanian magician. Use !Genshin in the chat or use the link below the stream to download for free today.